What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. What is going on, guys? Another Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. Gonna get right into it. A little struggle streaming. Just bear with me, guys. You know how it is each week. Gotta get in here, get things set up. And as usual, guys, as you come into the live stream, please hit a 1. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay, see me okay. You know, everything looks good, sounds good. And this evening, guys, we're going to get straight into it. This will be kind of a quick and sweet live stream. You guys saw the title of the live stream and that thumbnail. So we're going to get into a little talking about some whole buzzards, guys. You know, and just some different type of etiquette and things like that whenever you're out on the water, and just get, you know, different perspectives from you guys that are out there watching the channel, watching the live streams. And I'm pretty sure we have some new people that are going to be checking in. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the live stream. And we do things just a little different over here. So, you know, we kind of get into it. I give a few shout outs, all that good stuff. Oh, can't forget, have to give a special shout out to the Facebook crew. Oh, yeah. Special shout out to the Facebook crew. Let me just hop over here and make sure you guys are up and running. Everything is live and looking good over there. All right. Yeah. So like I said, as you come into the live stream, just drop a quick 1 in here. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay, see me okay. And as I was saying, we're going to kind of get straight into this one tonight, guys. So as you saw, the title of this live stream, I'm going to get into a little bit, just a little discussion about tournaments, tournament etiquette and things like that. And, you know, I have a few clips that I'm going to bring up and show you guys and just kind of get some feedback. So remember, as always, please get active in the chat. The live streams really feed off of the participation in the chat. So, the more you're getting active in there, the more, the more we'll get out of the live streams. Let me see what else, guys. Hold on just a second. Like I said, just bear with me. Yeah, always running at the last minute, trying to get things set up. Make sure I have everything in order for you guys. All right. Okay. I see you guys chiming in into the live stream. All right. Yeah. Like I said, just hit a 1. Give me a 1 in there if you guys can hear me okay. Just want to make sure everything looks good and sounds good before we get right into it this evening, guys. And also want to give a special shout out to the Money Team. We have Mark Scott checking in. Mark Scott says, "Hey Ryan, good to see you." Oh yeah. Another week. How'd you do out there over the weekend? I know you were out there on the lake doing your thing as always. Yeah, just give me some feedback in that comment section, guys, so I can give you a few shout outs. And as we wait for a few more people to trickle in here, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling up some things on the screen so we can get right into it, guys. So first, what we're going to take a look at is what this live stream is basically going to be referencing is the Lake Wheeler tournament where we had Ben Milliken from Milliken Fishing, and we had Matt Pangrac. And I think people call him Matt Pangrac. I think that's what they say. But yeah, so we're just going to get into that a little bit and just kind of get a different perspective, see what you guys think about it. So I'll pull that up. And then as always, I have a little bit of on the water footage so we can kind of get into a how would you fish it segment real quick. All right, guys. And let me see. Let me just double check. Okay. All right. Got my Facebook crew checking in. Shout out to you guys. Really, really appreciate it. All right, so what we are going to do is, like I said, we're going to make this one quick and sweet, guys. So no long intros. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. So what we're going to take a look at is on Wheeler Lake. Basically, the situation was basically on day 1, Ben Milliken had a great blast off number. He was able to get out there, get to his spot, do pretty well. I think he came in with around 18 pounds or something like that. So day 2, things kind of swapped up with the boat number. So if you had a good boat number, which he had a decent boat number on day 1, when things got flopped around, it was kind of swapped. So on day 2, he did not have quite as good of a boat number as he did on day 1, but Matt had a great number on day 2, but day 1 things were not looking too good for him. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull up the map so you can kind of get an idea of what they were fishing. All right, just bear with me, guys. Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. Let's see. Where are we at? Just bear with me, guys. All right, get this up here. All right, here we go. All right, let me just change this view up real quick, guys. All right, let's see. We have a few people checking in. Let's see. So, yeah, Mark Scott hit me with the 1. Let me know everything is looking good, sounding good. All right. Then Mark Scott says, tore the bass up all weekend. I kind of figured you were out there doing your thing. All right. Let's see who else we have. We have Kendall checking in. He says, it's hard to claim a spot. However, proper fishing etiquette applies to all if an angler is in a spot first. Everyone else should back off and respect who is there first. All right. So yeah, so that is a perspective that a lot of people hold. So we're gonna get into some of the details in here. And like I said, make sure you guys are getting active in the comments. That really feeds the live stream. You know, we get a lot more out of it as long as you guys are getting active in the comments. All right. So this first segment that I want to play is the map, so we can get an idea of what the guys were looking at whenever they were out there on the water. So let's go ahead and take a look. And hold on, here we go, guys.
One here first, because I got the sense that you thought that I didn't know where I was on it. So did you see that view?
Yeah, that's yeah, that's
so
good enough.
I was focusing on this stuff right in here,
right?
And I think you wanted to be out in here.
Well, I wanted to be like kind of on the left side there, casting all the way across it.
There was a boat right here.
Okay, and just for clarification, guys, this is on Wheeler Lake. What we're doing first is just taking a look at what they were looking at and how they were planning to fish. So we have Ben Milliken on here and Matt. They're both just explaining the area that they were wanting to target. So that is to give you an idea of what they were targeting on the lake and where things kind of come into play with the topic that we're talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and finish taking a look at it.
Not up there, but more towards the middle, and then casting up to that indentation you're talking about in the points, and then out to that right point too.
Okay, because there was a boat right over here that was sitting down, just slinging a Carolina rig, going ham on catfish.
Correct. Yep. So we had 3 boats there, and then another guy came in too, and we had 4 boats there.
Yeah. So there's a boat. There was a boat down here. I was sitting right in here. Yeah, I was sitting right in here, cast into this steel right here, and then you started here, moved over here, and then eventually came on the back and started casting out towards here. Accurate, just so people can see.
Yeah. But
all right, so there we go, guys. So that gives you an idea of what they were targeting out there on the lake. And for anybody that is not quite familiar with live imaging, I'm not sure what Matt's setup is, but we all know that Ben Milliken is good at using that live imaging. So what I'll do is just pull up another screen and just share with you guys a quick live imaging screen that'll kind of give you an idea of what he may have been looking at. And I'll just kind of explain this. All right, just bear with me. Let me go ahead and drop this other part down and bring up this other screen, guys. So let me just share this. Let's see where we at. All right, here we go. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so this is a live imaging screen, and basically I pulled this up. This is whenever I was fishing out on Lake Hartwell, but the thing that I want you guys to kind of pay attention to in this is the area that they were targeting on the lake that we on the map that we just showed. They're fishing up on some flats, and if you were listening to some of the areas that they were explaining how they were casting fish and locating those fish was like sitting right on the top of those flats. And sometimes if you drag something down the sides of that, then you can target those fish that way. But if you saw the video that Ben Milliken put out, he was catching those fish on a crankbait. So in this situation, he would have been throwing that crankbait. And as you see, those fish are sitting right there. You can't really see how far that is out. Let's just see
some video of what
all right, so there we go. All right, so those fish are sitting about 50 feet out. So if you're sitting out there and you make that cast around 60, 65 feet, then you can bring a crankbait right through that area. So that's kind of what Milliken was focusing on, something similar to this. But as you can see, this is sitting in about 50 feet of water or so. So they weren't out that deep, but the area that they were casting to was kind of shallow. So just wanted to give you guys that idea so you can have it in your head whenever you are hearing them discuss. Whenever you're hearing them discuss what they were actually viewing and what they were targeting. All right, so let me see. What we'll get into now is I'll bring up a few of those clips. We can just kind of, get their perspective on everything. But let me hop back into the chat real quick and see who else we have checking in. So I gave a shout out to Mark Scott and the Money Team. He's always checking in here. Said he tore him up this weekend. Oh yeah, he's always out there on the lake doing his thing. All right, and then I read Kendall. So Kendall is saying, yeah, it's hard to claim a spot. So some basically first come, first serve. All right, then we have Claude Williams checking in. He says, I'm one of the old school guys. You don't jump on somebody's hole, period. All right. So, hey, that is the way a lot of guys see it. And I guess I'm kind of that way too. Whenever, if I'm headed for an area and I see that somebody's there, I'll just go ahead and take off and head to another spot. And I may come back to that spot a little later, depending on how many locations that I plan on fishing for that day. So yeah, I kind of understand that. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that feel that way. All right. Then we have Doty Fishing checking in. Special shout out to the Money Team. All right. So let's see what Doty Fishing says. He says, first come, first serve. Only if you don't believe in karma. Oh man. Don't want to mess with karma. Don't want to mess with karma. All right. All right. Then we got Kendall. He's second in that motion from Claude. All right. Sounds good with that. All right, guys. And we have a guest in the house. We have Cerebral Tackle checking in. Says, party can start. I am here now. All right. That is good. That's all good. All right. So let's see. He says it's also called the bent pole pattern. Uh-oh. I guess he's talking about that view where I pulled up. You can see those fish sitting right on the top of that ledge. So yeah, when you see those fish like that, it's about to be a good day. All right. So yeah, so he's second in that motion also. So a lot of guys agree with that. First come, first serve. All right. Then we have Ivy Moore. Ivy Moore checking in. What's up, y'all? What's going on, Ivy? Good to see you checking into the live stream. All right, then we have Cerebral Tackle. Okay, yeah, you guys get in there. Make sure you kind of network with each other. That is a good thing about the community that we are building. Everybody is here, like a bunch of like-minded guys. We're all here for fishing, whether it's fun fishing, tournament fishing. Just want to make sure we get out there and enjoy the time that we have out on the lake and help each other get better while we're out there. And there have been some guys that have been hitting me up in the comments with some questions about their electronics and things like that. And what I always gear people to is to come and check out the live stream, because if I'm not familiar with the specific issue that you are having, more than likely there is someone that is in the chat that has had the issue that you're having, whether you're running Garmin system, Garmin Live Scope, Lowrance Active Target, or Humminbird system, because that's what I run is Humminbird, and I run Humminbird Mega Live. So that was the clip that I just pulled up just a minute ago to show you guys the clip of what they were kind of, to give you kind of an idea of what they were targeting whenever they were out there on the water. All right, so we have Cajun Rob. What is going on? Cajun Rob checking in. He says, what's up, Easy Money? Oh yeah, what is going on? Good to see you in the live stream. All right, yes, we have a few guys giving us shout outs to each other. Good deal with that. All right, then we have Brian checking in. What is going on? He says Pangrac was wrong. Uh-oh. It looks like we have some opinions coming in here. All right, so yeah, so let's see what he says. He said Pangrac was wrong. As soon as he found out that Milliken was on that spot the day before, he shouldn't have went there. Doesn't matter who else fishes there. That's besides the point. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into it, guys. We're going to get into it. So let me go ahead and pull up the clips that I'm going to show you guys. And this will kind of, anyone that's not quite familiar with the situation that we're going to be referring to. And more than likely, what we're going to get into, guys, is the question and answer type thing, as far as what do you guys think about the etiquette side of it? And then the other thing about the whole Buzzard thing that we were discussing. So it's not necessarily about the individuals in it, but it's about the overall message and, that we're getting into, just to get some ideas, opinions, and maybe some facts. Maybe you guys have some facts that you want to drop in. All right. Let's see what else we have, guys. Oh, and special shout out to, who was it? Hold on. If you take a look at the bottom of the screen, that banner scrolling down there, special thank you so much to Justin. He was the sponsor of last week's live stream. He hit the channel with a $50 super chat. Really, really appreciate that. So just wanted to give you a shout out again. You are the current sponsor of the live stream. What I say each week is whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live stream is the sponsor of the live stream, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers and subscribers of the channel. All right, then let's see who else we have checking in. We have Phil Bass checking in. What is going on? Really glad to have you checking into the live stream. All right, guys, just bear with me. I am going to pull up. Let's see where we at. Going to pull up these other clips, and basically these will just be a few clips of them kind of discussing their mindset and what they were thinking. And then what I'll do is I'll drop the link and maybe give you guys maybe a minute or two. If any of you guys want to come up, I can pull you up here. You can voice your opinion on the topic, and hey, we can keep it moving that way. Have a little bit of fun with it, as we always do, and just share some different perspectives, different ideas and opinions. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. We can get in and have some fun with it. All right, so let me just share the screen real quick. So I showed you guys the mapping. So now you have an idea of the area that they were fishing and what they were targeting. And I showed you the live imaging screen of more than likely what Milliken was seeing on his screen, because we all saw that he was out there catching those fish with the crankbait. All right, and just bear with me, guys. Let me get this next clip up here for you. All right, let's see. Yep, here we go. All right. Let me cue this up for you real quick, guys. Oh, and also don't want to forget this. There is a poll that I put in the chat. So if you guys take a look, there's a poll, and let me just see if I can find it real quick. But basically, it's just asking, what do you guys think about the topic? Who do you think was right? Who do you think was wrong? Just just answer that poll, and then towards the end of maybe towards the middle of the live stream, I'll pull that up, see how we're looking, see what you guys are thinking as far as the poll goes. And then at the end, we'll see if anybody's kind of changed their mind based on the information that we talk about. All right. And hold on just a second. Add to stream. All right, here we go, guys. All right, so where are we going to start at? Here we go. So what we'll do is we'll take a look and see what Milliken was saying first. All right, hold on one second. Let me just cue this up. All right, here we go, guys. Drop this down. Uh-oh, look who we have checking in. We have Beta Graves checking in. Yo, I'm back. What is going on? Glad to have you in the live stream. All right, so let's see. Let me just move this around a little bit. All right, so now let's just check and see what they had to say. All right, hold on one second, guys. Let me make sure I have this queued up right. All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
When in reality, that was a picture that Cole had grabbed in the background. But I think when people watch my videos, you're going to see some kind of crazy stuff. Like, I'm not talking about guys where I could cast into their boats that were so close. I'm talking about I could cast over this guy's boat into another boat they pulled in so close. So it got a little ridiculous, but at one point, Matt, you probably didn't see it, but there was 4 guys fishing that one bar next to me that pulled in there. So we had 4 boats on this area where 2 boats is probably makes it difficult to fish. And so,
all right. So basically what he's explaining right here is he's already out there fishing, and how people are beginning to kind of crowd into the spot. So he was, let me see, he said he was boat number 41, and he was one of the first people, well, the first person that was out there in that area. So there wasn't really any other boats around. And the area that he was targeting was about 30 feet by 150 feet. And if you kind of think about the size of your boat, 20-foot, 21-foot boat. So we're just looking at an area that may be the width a little bit wider than your boat, and then 150 feet. A good cast is maybe, I would say, 90 feet or so. So about 2 cast lengths is about the size of the area that he is fishing, that he is kind of trying to hold to himself, is what he is targeting here. So that's what he was explaining right there. All right, so let's take a look at the next clip, and this is basically just giving you an idea of how he did after that first day.
I'm fishing it. These guys eventually kind of leave because I was catching them. I kind of figured out some with a little finesse crankbait, and they weren't catching them. And I worked my way up to an 17-something pound limit, and fished it until probably 10:30 in the morning, until I wasn't going to burn it to the ground, but I felt like I was able to be happy with that and go move on. So,
all right. So that lets you know that he did end up having a good bag, pretty much from that day. All right. So now let's take a look at this next part. And basically all we're doing is I'm just hopping to some of the key points of what they're making. And then we will come back and have a discussion. And like I said, guys, I'll drop the link. If anybody wants to hop in here and kind of share their opinion on it, hey, let's have a little bit of fun with it, guys. So that's what we're all about over here. Just want to make these some interactive live streams. And remember, the more you get active in the chat, guys, the better the live streams are, because the live streams build off of you guys getting active in the chat. All right, so let's see. Let me head to this next clip on here. All right, hold on. Just bear with me, guys. All right, here we go.
Get there and we'll make it work together. And so I was like, all right, sounds good. And so I finally, you get there first. I finally launch and get there. And when I got there, you were set up. You were up on top of the bar, casting over the backside. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, 100%. Here, I'm going to zoom in on this.
All right, so let me pause it right there. So basically what he is speaking of at this part is Matt, on day 2, Matt had a better boat number. So he had a bad boat number on the first day. So on day 2, he was able to get to the spot. He had already spoke to Ben Milliken, but now the communication was kind of there, but not quite where it should be. So Matt is at the location. Ben is pulled up and he sees that Matt is sitting right on top of the area that he wanted to target to cast. And remember, when we're out there, guys, we're always thinking that what we are doing and what we have on our mind is the thing that we should be doing. So if somebody else is thinking something different, hey, maybe they just don't know what I know. Both guys are probably thinking that same thing. All right, so let me just go ahead and, like I said, what I'll do is I'll ease through these real quick. And once I get finished playing these clips, then we can just kind of have a discussion about the different perspectives on how people were seeing what was going on here. All right, hold on one second, guys. Here we go.
I get it. But anyway, so like just basically where you were sitting, I felt like I couldn't make the cast that I needed to make, and we couldn't make the cast that I felt like we needed to make, whether I knew what I was talking about or not, because that's exactly how I caught them and where I caught them.
Which you obviously did, because you had a parent. I guess you caught him there the day before. I don't know where you caught your fish.
Yeah, of course. But that's why
you obviously had a good cast.
Stay back off of it, and that's why I was just like, well, shit. Now neither of us can fish it very well because. And it was difficult. The wind was blasting. There was white caps that morning rolling down the lake, so we couldn't cast our little crankbaits across it very well. And it was just a crappy situation where no one was catching very much. And
all right, so yeah, so that just kind of gives you an idea of the mindset of where they were at. So now Milliken is looking like, hey, you're sitting where I was planning on casting, so I can see the fish over there. So I don't think either one of us are going to really get anything productive out of this because of where you're positioned. All right, let's see. Let's head to the next little clip here, guys. All right, just bear with me, guys. Doing a little work. Have to do a little work every now and then. Get everything lined up for you. All right, here we go.
Flip on day 2 is to give a fair shot to people that had a bad boat number day 1. What I didn't like is that I felt like I was very much in contention to get a top 10 or win the event. Because if I would have even had 14 pounds, I would have been fishing the top 10. And so I felt like you were way back in the field and that wouldn't have mattered. And I felt like you were out of contention. I mean, we're all trying to get points. We're all trying to get a check, of course. We're all trying to qualify for the elites. And so I was frustrated with that. But I knew at the same time, you have every right to start somewhere that you found in practice. But
all right, so that's pretty much the thing about it. So some people are thinking that Milliken may not understand that, hey, you got to get out there and fight for these things. But I mean, he pretty much understands it. That's kind of what he was explaining right there at that point. All right, and hold on, just have one. Let's see. Yeah, one more part in here that I want to play. And this is pretty much just finalizing what Milliken was seeing from his perspective. Here we go.
Get on that spot like I wanted to. But again, I don't think that you did anything wrong necessarily. I don't know how we can even say that. It's the least sexy, juicy.
Yeah, no, I can understand why it would at the time have frustrated you.
And but I understand too, like, that's why they flip the numbers, and you can't be a crybaby if you can't get on your spot. It's not your spot. But at the same time, I felt like there was a lot of factors and a lot of gray area that pissed me off.
All right, so there we have it. So that's pretty much the things that from what Milliken was seeing from his side. So just a quick recap. I see we have a few more people that have kind of hopped into the live stream. Go ahead and hop in the chat. Just let me see who all is in here. You know, like I said, guys, the more you get active in the chat, you know, the better the live streams will be. Live streams kind of build off of the chat, guys. So basically a recap of what happened here. So day one, Milliken was out there. He was doing his thing. He came in with about 18 pounds. So day two, he was trying to get back out there to the area that he was at. Matt pretty much had saw all of the boats on that area, but he had found it during practice. But because of his bad boat number, he wasn't able to get over there. Milliken does not know this, and Matt does not really know what's going on Milliken's side. So Milliken is basically out there in the war zone, guys. So he has guys that are pulling up on him. He's trying to, you know, protect his 30 by 150 foot area that he's pretty much focusing on without guys getting in too close to him. So he's dealing with all of that pressure. All of that kind of stuff is going on right there. So when day two comes, Matt comes over to him and is like, hey, you know, I plan on fishing that spot where you were at yesterday. But he didn't quite understand that Matt had found that area during practice, but because of his bad boat number, he wasn't able to fish that area. So now from Ben's side, so just think of it from Ben's side, guys. You're out there, you were out there in the war zone day one. So now you have that mindset, hey, they've already put the stuff out there about what I was doing, where I was at and everything, but I still need to figure out how to get back out there and still make things happen. So now somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm going to go right to where you were fishing yesterday. Ooh, okay, so you know that has to mess with your mind some, because you've been out there scanning, putting in all this work, but all you hear is somebody just come directly to you and tell you that they're going to take the spot that you were fishing on. So I mean, what do you guys think about, you know, about the etiquette when you're fishing at that level? Things, you know, it's a little different, I would say, on that level. I do not fish at the opens or the elites level, obviously, but you know, there's still some of the same type of etiquette and things like that you would want to look at. So at that point, he comes to Milliken and says, hey, I'm going to start on that spot. Throws Milliken off. You can kind of tell by his reaction, like he just pretty much came and told me he's about to go over there and take the spot. So whenever he gets over there, not only did he take the spot, or he was on the spot where Milliken was planning to go, but he was sitting directly on top of it. So Matt was targeting a different area, a different spot in the same area, but Milliken's spot that he was wanted to focus on, Matt's boat was sitting right on top of it. So that's pretty much the way that it was from Milliken's side whenever he went out there. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is we're just going to hop over and hear what Matt has to say on his side. And let me do this, guys. I will go ahead and drop the link because, like I said, we're going to make this one kind of quick, guys. I'm going to drop the link. If anybody wants to hop up here, you know, just kind of give their perspective. If you know about the topic, a lot of you guys should. I have put out 1 or 2 videos about it. And, you know, those videos have been getting quite a few eyeballs on it. So let me just drop this link. And basically, if you do want to come up, guys, make sure that you're cammed up for one, your lighting is good, and then we'll just check your sound real quick. Then we'll get your opinion, get your thoughts on the topic that we're talking about. All right, let's see. But before we hop back in here, let's just see. Did anybody else hop into this chat? Let's see who else we have in here. All right, let's see. All right, so we have Ivy Moore. All right, Ivy Moore wants to chime in. Let's see what Ivy Moore has to say. I just don't get it. Some pros, when they fish in an area, you can't go over by them. Other pros, they bitch and whine. Scott Martin, Van Dam, I ain't saying no names. Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, that's the thing about the etiquette. It's like, how do you know when to and when not to? And to me, I would think that if it's somebody you know, and maybe you've already talked about it ahead of time. So if somebody you know comes over, you be like, hey man, get out of here. No, I'm struggling. I need this over here. Or, you know, you may say, hey, come on over there. So it really just depends. I've seen people on some of the events that I've watched where you know, they'll motion people to come on over there and hop in on the action. So it's like one of those things, like, just never know. But I know some of you guys out here fish some of those opens and things like that. All right, so we have Vernon Neal says, Cajun Rob, hope you are doing well, bro. Oh, we have Vernon Neal checking in. What's going on, Vernon? Good to see you in the live stream. All right, so let's see. Cerebral Tackle says, Ivy Moore, yes, Martin can be a little. Look at you guys. You guys are getting into it. All right. All right. It says, however, I believe he was right in that instance. Okay. The kid had no proof he pre-fished there. Martin was locked on that boat position, and the kid said, all right. All right. Then we have Kendall checking back in, says, I think this happens all the time, but you have two anglers with a big platform actually willing to talk about it and hash it out publicly. Oh, yeah. So that was the good thing about that, guys. We actually got to see that in real time. And I think it was a good representation of how things should be handled. So even though the communication was kind of shaky at first, they did kind of go through, and get things worked out. All right. So Cerebral Tackle says he saw him there. Boat positioning on a dock is so easy. Okay, so I think I know what clip you guys are talking about. It was Scott Martin, and I can't remember the other angler's name. But yeah, I think I have a clip about that one too. All right, so we have Ivy Moore. Special shout out to the Money Team. He says, see, that's what I'm talking about. When you're up with points, they're supposed to give you the right of way. But some people just don't understand that seniority. All right. So yeah, that is a thing right there. All right. Cerebral Tackle says, Ivy Moore, this is true. All right. So yeah, we have Ivy Moore and Cerebral Tackle getting busy in here in the chat. All right. Let's see. So Ivy Moore says, sometimes you just don't need to drop that anchor. Drop that anchor. Okay. Sometimes you just need to drop that anchor. Oh yeah, drop that anchor and get them away from you. Does the spotlight count? The spotlight count. All right. Then Cerebral Tackle says, Ivy. Okay, that's right. That ends all discussion. Oh yeah. That'll end some discussion. All right. Joshua B. Fishing says they were both wrong for fishing in my spot. Josh was out there in that deep water offshore in that kayak. All right, doing your thing. All right, we have 1,000-yard 308. Woo! Okay, long shot. Okay, we have a sniper in the live stream. Says depends if Matt was seen fishing that spot on day one. If he was not seen there, he's a whole buzzard. Oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, we have some answers to that right there. We have some answers to that. I'll bring that clip up in just a second. All right, so Ivy Moore says, Cerebral Tackle, you are right. Look what we have, guys. We have Ballsy Baits. Ballsy Baits checking in. All right, says the winner in this situation are the viewers. Oh yeah. We have a little bit of entertainment. We have a little bit of extra entertainment going on. All right, then we have Darren Pearson checking in.
Yes, sir.
What is going on, DP? He says, what's going on, MoneyBass? How are you doing in the BFLs? Oh yeah, guys. I'm doing a little something in the BFLs. I kind of worked my way down to, I think I was sitting around 31, ranked 31 right now in the, what division is that I'm fishing? Fishing that Bulldog division. There we go. Fishing the Bulldog division. So right now, I'm ranked 31. Well, I was ranked 31. Yeah, the last tournament, I just couldn't find any of those big fishes, but I found a little small one. So, but I mean, it still, gave me some points and everything. So right now I'm sitting in 38th in the 38th spot. Just need to maintain that 45th position within that 45th position so that I can qualify to go to the regionals. That is the goal. So you guys knew from the very beginning, before the season started, what I was telling you guys, the goal would be to be in the top 45 so that we could go to regionals and I can, bring that experience over to you guys so you can see how things go with that. All right. So special shout out to Darren Pearson. All right. Cerebral Tackle says, that Ike Van Dam fight. Okay, there we go. Ike bragged about what is that? Boning that executive. Oh my goodness. What is going on? What kind of stuff are y'all talking about in the chat? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see. What is that? I got you. All right, then we have Nancy checking in. What is going on, Nancy? Good to have you checking into the live stream. All right, Nancy says bass opens are a free for all. 175. Okay. Anglers fighting for 9 spots. Woo! 9 spots. Oh yeah. It looks like that gets tense with that then. They better just keep their eye on Trey McKinney. Shout out to Trey McKinney.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, good deal with that. All right. So what I'm going to do now is just pull up a few clips and let's just get Matt Pangrac's position on this. You know, how he saw things from his view. And then what I'll do is, you know, I'll just give you my quick recap. And like I said, guys, I dropped the link in the chat. So if any of you guys want to come up, you know, just kind of offer your thoughts on it. Like I said, this is kind of an interactive live stream, guys. So make sure you guys are getting active in the chat. If you want to come up here, you know, I can pull you up on the screen. Just make sure you're cammed up, good lighting, and then we'll check your sound real quick. You know, we can hear what you have to say about the topic. All right, so let me just pull this back over. Just bear with me, guys. All right, so now let's get into what Matt had to say. All right, let's see where we at. Where does Matt start talking at? All right, just bear with me, guys. Here we go.
That information with each other. That's not the type of stuff we talk about in pre-fish. So
yeah, it's just what do you think it's going to take? That type of stuff. So anyway, I drive past the spot and it's an absolute zoo on it. Now I didn't realize it was you or that everyone wasn't fishing there. And you had a lot of spectators. I think you had like 3 spectators on the second day.
Yeah, and then the bass camera crew was there too or whatever.
But anyway.
All right, so let me just say this too, guys. So just remember, so we've already kind of discussed Milliken's mindset, what he was saying, what he was going through out there. He was out there in the war zone. He was in the battle zone. So you heard Matt just say that whenever he drove by, it was a zoo out there. He did not realize that zoo was what Matt was battling with on day 1, right? So Matt is basically out here. Just imagine just any of us. We're just out there. We're fishing our tournament. We're doing our thing. We have our game plan. We have the places that we want to go. You get a terrible boat number. So he knows that he is pretty much not going to get to fish the places that he had planned on fishing. But if he sees things ease up, then maybe he can squeeze his way in there. But the thing that he does know is that whenever day 2 comes, those boat numbers flip. And I think, let's say that there were, let's just say there were 230 boats, for example. His boat number was somewhere close to the end, like if there were 230 boats, his boat number would have been like 222 or something like that. So he was way at the end of the field on day 1. So he just had to kind of scavenge around and try to do the best that he could. I think he came in with around 11 pounds or something like that. So, but the thing about that is he knows on day 2, he is going to have a great boat number. So he will be able to go to the number 1 spots that he was planning on going to. So like I said, he's out here running around and having his own little battle going on, trying to get to this spot, that spot, trying to find what he can based on that boat number that he had. But like I said, he has his eyes on the prize for day 2. But let's go ahead and hear him explain it.
I kept rolling and I did my thing and I came back and I had a 4:30 check-in and there was only 1 boat on it when I came back at like 2:45.
All right. So somebody did mention, did they see Matt fishing that during practice? And if not, then they said he would be that he would be considered a whole buzzard if he wasn't. But what he is explaining right here is that that was an area that he wanted to fish. He had already found that area, knew where he wanted to go. But there were so many boats on it that he did not even try to go over there. But at the end of the day, since he had such a terrible boat number on day 1, most of the boats had already left and he was still out there because he had a late check-in. So he went back. He saw that there weren't too many boats on that area that he wanted to get to. So now he's able to go over there and fish it because he was getting more quality fish from that area.
And I fished it for an hour and a half. I caught 2 that didn't help me. And that was it. I came in for my day. I didn't know who was on it. I didn't know who had been on it. I just knew that there had been a bunch of guys on it in the morning. I had no idea what was caught on it. Did not look at Bassmaster. Don't ever look at Bassmaster because I think that then can impact your decision-making, whether you want to or not. And I told Andrew Upshaw after that night.
All right, so here we go. So now you pretty much heard what he said about that day whenever he finished up over there. But now at the end of the day, he's making his plan for day 2, which he had probably already kind of had an idea on day 1, but he just wasn't able to get to it. Now let's see exactly what he says here.
Because I know he spent a ton of time out on the flats. I said, dude, I'm gonna start on out in front of those dredge signs tomorrow. I said, I'm boat 8. I'm gonna get it. I said it was an absolute zoo out there today.
Boat 8.
And he goes, dude, Milliken was out there, right? And I went, no, I didn't. He goes, that's why all those freaking boats were there. He's like, I drove past and they were like watching them out there.
All right. So there we go. So now, basically whoever mentioned was Matt out there before. So yeah, Matt had been out there apparently during practice. And then on day one, he was able to get out there later in the day because he had that late check-in number, and he was able to go out there pretty much after everybody had left. And like I said, he's out there trying to struggle to put together some type of decent bag. And like I said, he was able to put together an 11-pound bag. So you know how things do on day two. So now once they flip, maybe those guys that did okay on day one, maybe they're going to struggle on day two, because now the people that were at the end are going to have first dibs on things. So that's kind of what he's thinking right here. So let's see what else he has to say.
And I said, oh, and I started being like, okay. I said, well, I'll see if I can find him tomorrow and talk to him about it, because that's just how the boat flip works on the TVA fisheries. I looked to see where you were in the standings. You were 13th. You weren't leading the tournament. Yes, you had a good bag, but I assumed we knew each other. We could work together on it. The boat draw had flipped. I knew that I was planning on starting on that spot if I had a good boat draw. Obviously.
Okay, so there we go. So he said if he had a good boat draw, he would have went to that spot on day one. But whenever he saw he had a boat number pretty much at the end of the at the end, I mean a pretty high boat number, then he knew that was kind of out of the question. So he was just waiting for day two to come so he could come back. So whenever he went and mentioned it, and I think this is the key part right here. This is where that communication comes in. So as you saw, he said that he decided to go and talk to Milliken, which is a great thing. But the thing about it is, remember, everyone has their own plan and they have their own things going on in their head. So Milliken, to me, would already be thinking like, hey, I'm going to be out there trying to get back to my area. They've already been posting where I was at. There are people that have seen me, you know, so I'm already going to be trying to fight to get back to where I was at. But I think everybody may experience that whenever you're at the top of the heap on day one. You're going to be looking at that, especially when things flip. So he's just wondering, will he be able to get back to the spot that he was at, or if somebody's going to, you know, beat him over there. So now Matt comes and he talks to him about it. Let's see.
Not in the same exact spot that you were starting, because I didn't find that cast. I found everything more up on top of it than you had, so slightly different areas. But I just thought I went about it the right way by approaching you in the morning and saying, hey, dude, I'm going to start here. It kind of it gave you an opportunity, if you had an issue with it, to be like, dude, why? You had 11 pounds. Can you please give it to me? It's my number one. But you didn't say any of that stuff.
All right, so think about that. So now he does go and he talks to Milliken. But like I said, I think, to me, if it was me in that position and I was doing well on day one and somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'm going to go and fish where you were fishing at, that is going to throw me off. All I'm pretty much going to hear is like, they just told me that they're going to go where they know that I was at. What am I going to do with that? For me, I wouldn't. If I see someone in the area where I want to go, I'm just going to go someplace else. So if someone tells me that, more than likely, I'm not going to be thinking like, well, we can share it type thing. I'm going to be thinking, well, that pushes me off of that because I'm not going to do that. So who knows exactly what Milliken was thinking, because like Matt said, he did not say, well, hey, you know, you have 11 pounds. I have 18. I'm still in contention. And the thing that if you pay attention, Matt had mentioned like, hey, you were in 13th place, but what Milliken mentioned is even though he was in 13th place, he was only 1 to 2 pounds behind the top bag. So he was definitely still there in contention to make that top 10. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else he has to say.
When we got there in the morning, everything was cordial. I really didn't think that much of the interaction. You did say like, hey, kind of back off. So the thing that kind of ticked me off was in the post where you said like whole buzzards where you were pointing. Like, and I was actually in that picture, and I understand that might not have been it, but it made it look like you were like bitching me out, when in reality, like I was kind of talking to you about the spot and stuff. And that's where you were like, hey, you know, back out a little bit. And that's where the pointing came from. So that,
yeah. So, I mean, and that right there is definitely understandable, because the communication was there, but it wasn't all that good. And now you see that post, and yeah, I mean, I completely understand what he's saying on that. All right, so let's see. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show. With so Matt's point. So hopefully you guys got an idea of what each one of the guys' position was. So with Matt in this, he was out there doing his own thing. He wasn't really paying attention to what anyone else was doing out there. He already had his game plan, but because of that boat number, and I don't know how many of you guys have had a bad boat number, but when you get that bad boat number and you know that you're almost the last one coming, the first thing you're thinking is like, man, am I going to be able to get to any of the things that I have planned to get to? When it's happened to me, I just go ahead and make a long run. So I'll start at the things that I have farthest away from that boat launch, because I'm thinking maybe some, people are just going to eat up and stop at those other spots first. So that's kind of my game plan, depending on what that boat number is. So Matt is out there doing his own thing. He sees everybody out there. It's a zoo out there where he wants to go. So he's like, hey, I'll just wait for day 2. All right. So the question that I have is, if a boater has a good number on day 1 and they have that early blast off so that they're able to get to the spots that they want. All right. So, and then, so they get that preference because they're boat number 1. So on day 2, when that boater that had a good day on day 1, because he had that good boat number, and obviously because of that, they should be in a better position than that person that has that bad boat number. So when things flop, should that person on day 2 that now has a good boat number, should they take into consideration that other person's bag? Because technically that other person had an advantage based on that boat number. But what do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts on that etiquette part of it? But let me go ahead and play this one other part, because Matt does address that. Someone does put something in here, and they say something to him about it. So let's see what he has to say. Here we go, guys. All right, here we go.
And run to him in the tournament.
That's good stuff. That's a good breakdown. This is interesting. This one caught my attention. He said Matt should have given up the spot. Etiquette. It's just Matt being a narcissist and only thinking about himself, even though he was not in contention for a check. Poor sportsmanship, Matt. I will say this. There was an angler who went from 140th with 9 pounds, I believe, on day 2 to finish in the top 20, a 15-pound bag. I was actually in the exact dead center of the field with 11 pounds on day 1. So 15 or 16 would have helped. And guess what? You're damn straight. I was thinking about myself. This is an individual sport. We're competing for 9 spots. I'm putting a lot of my own money, time, sweat, and effort up on this, as well as put myself out there, as is Ben, as is all 200 other anglers at it. And we are all trying to catch the most weight, the biggest 5 bass that we can. And 99.99% of us are trying to do about it also in the most ethical, friendly sportsmanship way. But dude, it's a lonely sport out there. And really the only person that really actually gives a damn about your success at the end of the day is you.
Ooh, all right. So I think that kind of sums it up from what he saw from his perspective. All right, guys. So let's get active in the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. All right. So let me just find where we were at in the chat. I see a few of you have chimed in on here. All right. Let's see where are we at. Okay. All right. We have some people in here saying a few things. All right. Let me just find the spot. Let me find the spot. All right, so let's start right here. We have Doctor Who Design checking in. Special shout out to you. Really appreciate you coming back to the live stream. All right, says, I came for a few minutes to say hello and to bring good luck. All right, really appreciate that. All right, and special shout out to Ivy Moore, member of the Money Team. All right, says, I'm just saying, because I'm out fishing a local tournament and 2 old men fight over a spot, I'm laughing. They started on me. Okay, wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. So it sounds like this is a personal experience right here. All right, you says, I'm out fishing a local tournament and 2 old men fight over a spot. I'm laughing. They started on me, telling me they both ready to. Oh my goodness. Ivy, what is going on out here in these fishing streets? What is going on? Ivy out here ready to throw some hands. All right, then we have Claude checking back in. Says, every time this happens, the other guy says, I found this during practice. That is so old. Just be a man and say you saw him catch fish there. Oh my, come on, Clyde. Come on, Clyde. All right. Hey, like I said, different people are going to have different perspectives on it. All right. Let's see. Hold on just a second, guys. All right. So we have, let's see. We have 1,000-yard 308 says the bass cameras were not there to watch Matt. Just saying. Just saying. All right. I mean, I don't know, guys. Say I don't really know too much about Matt, but I mean, he doesn't strike me as somebody that would just make something up. But I don't know, guys. I believe what he was saying. All right. So Cerebral Tackle says at Doctor Who Design. Hey, friend. All right. Shout out to that. All right. Nancy says Matt's been fishing the opens for the last 12 years. Bass new baby just had a bellyache. Ah, come on, man. Come on, Nancy. All right. CT, I knew it. All right. Doctor Who says, hope you're doing well. All right. Cerebral Tackle. All right. Cerebral Tackle says, at MoneyBass, can we all just agree that if a man wears an Astros hat, that he's automatically wrong? Come on, man. What's going on with that? Look, I told you I don't really watch sports, and I'm thinking that has something to do with sports. I don't watch basketball, football, hockey, tennis, none of that. I mean, I just watch fishing every once in a while. All right. So then Ivy Moore, what is going on, says you have to think about it, people. Love the Mulligan. They literally sit and watch him go from one spot to another spot and follow him. He has a huge following. I mean, out on the water. Okay. All right. All right. Shimano Shane says Milliken is a crybaby. Come on, guys. Milliken is a crybaby. If you get there first, it's your spot. His bubble is about to burst. I don't know. I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and Milliken doesn't have many fans around here. Oh, man. Come on. What is going on with that? I mean, we're just out here trying to catch a few fishes. All right. Shout out to DP. He says, I still say Matt was wrong because you got so close to him and knowing that he was already there. And I know he didn't want nobody to do that to him. All right, DP. Now check this out. Matt did not go there on day one until after people had left. He went there at the end of the day because he had a bad boat draw. On day 2, Matt was there first. So Matt was there first. The other people came in where Matt was at. So I don't know if that changes your answer on that one. All right, then let's see. We have Michael checking in. Look at Michael, LOL, in the house. All right, he says, Ben was mad that Matt actually positioned his boat on top of the fish. Matt misunderstood where Ben wanted him to set up. Matt misunderstood where Ben wanted him to set up. So that's what I was explaining, guys. So think about that. Matt misunderstood. Why does Matt have to understand what Ben wants him to do? Why would you have to understand what somebody else wants you to do whenever you're in a tournament? So that would be one thing that these are just questions that I want to see what you guys think about with that. But the thing where I said the communication was there, but it was just lacking just a little bit, because if they had actually spoke about this before tournament day, because from my understanding, Matt pulled up on him tournament morning while they were already in the boat. So at that point, I don't know about you guys, but once I get on the lake, I'm not trying to think about anything extra. I mean, I may be thinking about my baits and where I'm going to go, all that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of focused. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'm going to go to the spot you were at yesterday, that's going to just kind of throw me off. But let's say that the person comes to me the day before, especially if it's somebody that I'm friends with, and they're like, hey, you know, that area that you were at, that is an area where I was trying to get to yesterday, but I saw all these boats over here. Andrew told me that you were over there, so I wanted to come and speak to you about it and see if maybe we can work together to try to get the weight that we need out of that spot. And we kind of formulate a game plan the night before. So as far as I know, at this level, the anglers are able to talk like that and share information. So because he has that good boat number, it would be, you know, in both of their interests to kind of work together with that, because then that way, maybe Matt would still be able to reach the area that he wanted to get to and not disturb the area where Ben was wanting to fish, and they could kind of truly share that area. So they kind of did, but the communication wasn't completely there. And I think it's because of the way that the communication kind of started out. All right, so we have Cerebral Tackle says, Doctor Who Design, check your Discord when you can. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Let me see. Anybody else have any opinions on this? So Vernon Neal says, fish on it today. It's your spot. If you don't make it to that spot the next day first, oh well. All right, so yeah, so that is the thing, guys. What do you guys think about that boater etiquette? So let's say, like I said, let's say it's somebody that you know, one of your friends, and they're sitting on 18 pounds and they can possibly either win that tournament, but definitely be in the top 10 if they just have a decent day. And you saw where they were at, you knew where they were fishing at, or either someone told you. Would you go to that spot knowing that it's somebody that you know, or would you leave it open for them to go over there? But the other part to that is somebody else could just as easily go there if they see that it's open. But what do you think? Would you still go there if it's somebody that you're kind of, you're competitors against each other? But I've seen people, whenever somebody's boat breaks down or they're in a bad situation, they actually cut their day short to help other people out on the water. So it's, it's just kind of tough. But what do you guys think about that? All right, so Joshua says, first come, first serve, regardless of standings. All right, so Joshua's out there at war, man. Joshua was like, hey, it doesn't matter. If I get there first, it's mine. I got this kayak floating across the water. The whole purpose of tournament fishing is competition. If you roll up and people are on your spot, best have a backup plan. Yeah, I mean, so that is pretty much, like I said, that's what I'll do. I mean, even if I pull and I see somebody in a creek or something, I'll just go ahead, because I don't know if they want to fish that whole area or what's going on. And I don't really feel like focusing and kind of taking my mind off of what I'm trying to do. All right, so Dustin says, I have no experience personally with tournament fishing, but I feel like nobody's rolling up on wheeler spots out of respect, just an outsider's perspective. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they all kind of have this thing going on, especially with Wheeler, because he has a lot more. Well, I don't know if he might have about the same amount of people following him around as Milliken too. So when you have all that boat traffic and people following you like that, it's kind of hard to hide where you're at. All right, so Cerebral Tackle says, yes, you can share with fellow competitors only. All right, so there we go. So yeah, they could have sat down and hashed it out and had a whole game plan. Both of them could have came up. All right, so Michael says, Ben caught 18 pounds there the day before and had a better understanding of the spot. Ben could see the fish under his boat. The issue is they both didn't communicate well once on the water. So yeah, that I agree with that second part. But the first part where you're saying Ben caught 18 pounds, let me see, Ben could see the fish under his boat. All right, so Ben was using live imaging, but does Matt use live imaging? I know he's mentioned that he's not really that good offshore, and that, like you said, that could have been something that they could have talked about whenever they, since they were Matt was planning on sharing that spot with him, they could have talked about that. And maybe if he knows, like, hey, okay, yeah, I know Milliken can do his thing with this live imaging. I'm more of a shallow water fisherman. I'm not offshore, so hey, I'll kind of follow his lead on that. And if he wants me to back up, I'll back up, because that was the thing that Milliken was trying to get him to do. But the thing that you have to think about, guys, is each fisherman is out there doing something that they feel is the juice in most cases. So where Matt was at was based on where he was catching his fish at. So hopefully that helps. And I know a lot of us are we may look at certain anglers and be like, hey, because of what that angler is thinking, that's gospel. That's the thing that's happening. But hey, you never really know. But yeah, I mean, I understand. I see what you're saying from that perspective, especially since Milliken had 18 pounds, which is a good bag. All right. Ivy Moore says the mulligan he does has, let me see, that Casa progression look. Okay, he hasn't blinked one time unless you cut the blinking out. Come on, man. Come on, Ivy. What's going on with that, man? All right, Shimano Shane says drama gets viewers. Just ask Luke Duncan. I guess that's why we are here tonight. All right, hey, maybe could be, but it looks like we have pretty much our little fellow members in here checking out. I have some members of the money team checking in, seeing a lot of familiar names. All right, so Michael says Matt goes on to say on BTL that he misunderstood. Right. So yeah, he I think what you're referring to is he misunderstood about as far as moving further back off of that spot. All right. So Ivan Moore says that's how you know policies are getting too deep into fishing. Oh yeah. Dodie Fishing says shouldn't be an issue at Eufaula next tournament. Milliken and Matt can share over 100,000 acres. Hey man, but you know all the fish are on about a 50-foot little circle. So hey, you know. Everybody else can have that 999,995 acres. All right. Vernon Neal says, sounds like a lot of people need to shop my favorite store. Shut up and fish.
Yes,
Shut
sir.
up and fish. All right. And let's see. Joshua B. Fishing says, it took me an hour to pedal my kayak across the lake. If I'm there first, I'm not moving. Has nothing to do with lack of respect. I'm just borderline heart attack. All right. All right, guys. Look, I told you guys this was going to be a quick one. I have to head out and do a few things, but make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. And I've been dropping some videos trying to, you know, a little bit of a different style. Make sure you guys, my subscribers especially, hop in the comments. I want to see what you guys think. Really, really appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Let's just see what else. I see a few more people hopped in real quick. So Dodie Fishing says, fish on every acre at Eufaula. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got some good brush piles out there, too. All right. Dustin says, I know you present only the facts and let the masses decide their own opinion. I love it. But what's your perspective on it? Man, come on, Dustin. What you trying to do? Trying to get it out of me. He said, dang it. I want to know. What do you think, MoneyBass? All right. Let's see. I'll tell you what I think. All right. So we have, what is this? Bassanova dude says they should have duked it out for the spot. So how do you do that? Do you bring like cannons on your boat and be out there fighting like pirates? How do you do that, Bassanova? And am I saying that right? Yeah, Bassanova. All right. Shimano Shanes says, guarantee you, Ben just doesn't land on those blue dots by coincidence. What kind of blue dots you talking about? You talking about those waypoints? All right. Joshua B. Fishing says, instead of duking it out, they should have seen who could jump their boat over a road the furthest. Oh my goodness, Joshua. not jumping beaver dams. All right. So who is this? Let's see. So Dustin wants to know what I think. Okay. So for the etiquette side of things, for me, if it was somebody that I know, let's say that I'm sitting on 11 pounds and say I'm fishing a BFL, for example, and somebody that I know is sitting on 18 pounds, and it's an area where I had been fishing, or even if they, you know, let's say I had been fishing and they were kind of fishing close to that area, I would offer them to come in and just share that area. So I would try to network with them. So with the etiquette thing, for me, I'm just trying to think. Let's say if I know somebody is in the field and they have 20 pounds or something like that, and it's a 2-day event, I really don't look at it that way, because for me, most of the time people will see me out on the lake and say, hey, you passed right by me, or hey, I was fishing that point or something. I'm not even really paying attention to what anybody else is doing. And I'm kind of doing what it sounds like Matt was doing. I'm focusing on me and what I'm trying to do out there on the lake. So people see me and they say, hey, you didn't even wave at me or anything like that. It's because, hey, I'm focused. I have some things on my mind. I'm trying to get somewhere and make some things happen. So that's kind of, how I see that. Hold on just a second. Let me move this out of the way real quick. But yeah, so as far as that goes, the etiquette side of things, I do agree with that in a sense, but I don't think anybody should be held to that. Like if and that was another key thing that let me just see if I can find it real quick.
Things was,
just bear with me real quick, guys.
You could see on your 450th
gallery.
This is interesting. This
way, the hell. Then I found this
wise on an area. Boom.
Right, just bear with me,
look
guys.
On the front and backs of some of those islands. I'm not gonna say okay.
EVA fisheries, but not say this. Dustin wants to know if he can wear his BT. Exactly what it was going to be like, because I've covered tournaments, I've covered elite
time.
Dude, I feel like you.
Yeah, definitely.
Buzzards thing in the past, but but at least you're going to be able to. All
right, just bear with me. I'm trying to find something real quick so I can
with Mercer
that kind of sums up.
Was in the post where you said like I knew that I was planning on starting. And I said, oh, and I said, that's just how the boat flip works. Cast. I found everything in pounds. Can you please give it to me? Say where you were like, hey,
not that again, it's there.
I'm just trying to find a clip, guys. Just
there's
bear
two
with
other
me real
boats
quick.
Fishing. There's a lot go through it so you can see. I think everyone else
that where I can just find them better.
After I decided I was going to start it, this is Mark thing wrong, and that you think you're right. He goes, you have to stick with your guns, but at least you're going to be able to fish with that knowledge 100% of the way through. That's to justify why after I decided I was going to start there was because it never crossed my mind that it was the wrong thing to do. Jeffrey's all regardless, even though I knew.
All right, here we go, guys. Let me just share my screen again real quick. All right, here we go. Here we go. So this is what, what I kind of think too. Let's see.
That you were on that spot after I decided I was going to start there was because it never crossed my mind that it was the wrong thing to do. Jeffrey's always says, if it crosses your mind, if you have to justify why you're there, what you're doing, or you have to think about it. This is Mark Jeffries, who I did the podcast with for 20 years. He goes, don't do it. He goes, but if you 100% know in your mind that you're not doing anything wrong and that you think you're right, he goes, you have to stick with your guns 100% of the way through. That's the only way you'll be able to fish with integrity the entire duration of your career. Now you might.
All right, so there we go. So that's kind of my answer too. So how do I feel about the etiquette part of it? I don't really think I pay attention enough to what other people are doing that I would even know. So if it's an area that I'm trying to get to, and actually as an example, the last tournament that I fished, we were on Lake, which one was it? Lake Sinclair. So I'm running several different spots, and I make this leave the area that I'm at and kind of run a decent little distance to go and fish an area. It was like 3 specific spots that I wanted to hit. The main place that I wanted to hit, I did not go right to that spot first, but I could see it from where I was at. So I pull up to this first spot, and I think I catch maybe like 2 fish. I can't remember if they were keepers or not. If they were just small fish. So as I pack up and I'm about to head to the main spot that I wanted to go to, I just wanted to check this spot out first. I look, and there's another boat over there. So I'm like, man, there's another boat sitting there. So I just drop my trolling motor back down and just keep fishing where I'm at, but I'm keeping my eye over there, and I'm waiting for that boat to leave because they're sitting right on the area that I want to fish. As soon as they leave, I kind of give them a minute or two, make sure they're on plane and they're taking off, and then I head right over to that spot. Now, who knows? I mean, well, this was just a 1-day tournament, but if it had been a two-day tournament, and say that could have been the boat that was sitting on 20 pounds, and they're trying to make sure that they stay in contention or win the tournament or whatever, I don't even know who you are. I don't even follow anybody else like that. I'm focusing on my own thing. So as far as the etiquette part, I understand that if it's somebody I know and somebody, they come and talk to me and they tell me, then I may even offer them some things about what I'm doing if it'll help them out. So hopefully that answers this question. Dustin says, I know you present only the facts and let the masses decide their own opinion. I love it. But what's your perspective on it? So that's what I would think. And so if it was the other way around, and okay, this is the other part. So now let's say that I'm the person that has the 18-pound bag, and somebody that I know has seen me fish in this area, and they pull up on my spot. Yeah, I'm not going to be too happy about it. I'm going to be like, man, I know we're fishing against each other, but yeah. So, I mean, I understand it from that point of view, that if I'm that person who is wanting that respect or that etiquette given to me, if it's somebody I don't know, then it's just whatever. But if it's somebody I know, and on top of that, they knew what I was doing, then yeah, I wouldn't really be too happy about it. All right, let's see. We'll read a few more real quick. So Cerebral Tackle says, I'm bringing Ish to every fight. Uh-oh. All right, and let's see. Cajun Rob says, both guys in the wrong. They should have communicated better. So yeah, but the thing about it, Matt did attempt to communicate. But what I'm thinking is, because when you were on the water, like I said, if it was me and somebody I know just tells me that they're gonna go to where they saw me fishing at, it's going to throw me off, and it's gonna, it would be hard for me to even want to discuss it, because I'm like, man, why are you gonna do this? You see, I'm sitting on 18 pounds. All right. So Joshua says, on the real, I'm a social angler. You can tie off to my kayak for all I care. Just be kind and let's chat. Oh, yeah. Sometimes, you know, I feel like that too, where, you know, it's like, hey, I'm out there catching fish, having a decent day. Or I could be struggling. And hey, come over here and struggle with me. All right. Dustin says, cool. Thanks for the insight. All right, let's see. We have a few more guys. All right, so Benny Williams says, I'm sorry. He should have left and let Milliken have it. He was far out of contention. Milliken had a shot at the tournament and a chance at the elite win in a top 20 finish. Ooh, okay. All right, we have Living Out Loud, the podcast, checking in. Says, good evening, MoneyBass and chat. What is going on? Make sure you guys go and check out Living Out Loud, the podcast. Good channel over there on YouTube. All right, then we have Ron checking in. Says, there must be more to it. If Jeff is Jeff the fish god, let's see. Where was Pinhead the first day? Come on, man. Come on, man. So I think you're talking about Ben, maybe. But yeah, so he just wasn't able to get over there because there were a lot of boats on that area. And when he looked over there are spectator boats. So I guess him driving by, he just looked over there, saw all that traffic, all the boats over there, and didn't really distinguish whether they were all fishing or what was going on. He just kept going to the next spot and just decided to wait till he could find some time where he could get in where he fits in. All right, so let's see. Dustin says, right, hard to respond to that. Oh yeah. But I mean, I think I answered it. What do you think? I think I answered it pretty good. All right. Dustin says, I'm going to take. Oh, no. Okay. So I agree with Dustin on that one. So that is how I kind of look at it. That's why I said, if it's somebody I know, so just think about that. If it's somebody I know, and they're going to do me dirty like that, then yeah, I'm going to have a problem with it. But if it's somebody I don't know, yeah, I'm not going to like what they're doing, but I'm going to see them in a different light. So yeah, so I agree with that analogy to an extent. All right, so Dodie says, out of curiosity, what did Matt weigh in day 2? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what he weighed in on day 2. All right, so Cerebral Tackle says, Dustin, okay. All right, guys. So like I said, this one was a quick and short one, but make sure you guys come back every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We will do these live streams. If you have any hot topics or anything that you want me to bring to the live streams, just hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is @officialmoneybass, or just check the comments. And guys, don't forget, there is a tackle warehouse sale going on right now. I have a link in the description. 15% off. It ends in it may end up in tomorrow. But if you guys need anything, want to make sure you take advantage of those sales when you get a chance. All right, guys, I really appreciate you coming, checking out the live stream, supporting the channel. Please make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I will see you guys on the next live stream.